What is it that made you leave Steel Pulse as an international emerging superstar act to become a curator?
I just want a personal who is now considered to be British reggae? Who is spearheading that movement? You talk about Chronics and Protege, who are the Jamaican counterparts. Where is it happening in England, if you know?
I don't know. I mean, being totally blunt, I don't know. And the reason I say I don't know, and before I was not being evasive, is just that what we find now is that I'm working at university with an Asian band, for example. So it's 5 Indian guys playing reggae. Some of the lyrics is militant, but they're targeting India. I'm working with another group from Croatia who are mixing dubstep and reggae. Some of the lyrics are political, but actually they're targeting Croatia and Poland. I'm working with another individual from Russia who's combining American rap and kind of Jamaican DJing, and he's targeting Russia. I have another guy from Colombia. He's combining reggae and Colombian Brazilian beats under the heading reggaeton. He sings in Spanish, sings and raps in Spanish. He thinks he's a reggae artist, right? And so I was not actually being evasive, it's just that it's now complex in terms of the UK. If you say reggae and you're talking about as we knew it in the 80s, that's a different thing. If you say reggae and you're talking about the Jamaican community, again in the UK, that's a different thing, and it's almost generational in terms of holding on to a particular perspective and approach and idea of what reggae was 20, 30 years ago. At the moment, as I said earlier, it tends to be a youth-driven movement. So I'm preoccupied, most of my time is spent with musicians early 20s to late 20s. So my perspective is very much informed by that age group, and it's a complicated space under the heading reggae. But you know, I would say that it's alive and kicking and vibrant, and it's very politicized, very much so. I can only answer this subjectively from an individual perspective. I don't think it's important to go all the way back. That's an individual pursuit. I think the first thing is whether you're passionate about what you're listening to. If you're fully engaged with what you're listening to, it will take you on a journey. That journey might take you back to the origins. Having said that, I think there's an issue within contemporary promotion, publicity, marketing of music, where it continues at the moment to disconnect from the originator, from the creative at source. I have a problem with that, but it's a different problem. Credit the people who have been involved. Increasingly, we're not crediting the originator, which is a different story. But if you bring those two things together, you will arrive back at the source. But we have a major marketing issue around music, which you know, our own creatives are part of that story. Credit the person who has originated that piece of work. If you're referencing someone, put their name down. You know, seek them out, put their name down. But like I say, it's actually two different things. What took me into survival. Survival. Being totally honest, if you invest in a music career, it's fractured, it's short term. A music career is an oxymoron, because a career lasts, the average career span for a musician, we're now running at 6 months in the UK. And that's the point from which you have a hit to the point that they've forgotten you've had that hit. You might spend decades getting that hit. So a career is constantly recreating yourself in the form of another song, another album, another bit of success, going through that whole emotional cycle that I've explained before, and the third party's impacting on you. So my journey to university is quite a natural one, where I've got a mortgage, Has to be paid. It's a seriously large mortgage, and it's a regular job. But also, most of my career and the projects that I've been engaged with is going into spaces the music didn't exist. So whether that's creating an orchestra or going into academia or producing pop bands, it's spaces that it didn't exist. And just to give you an idea of the project that I'm on now, I've created partnerships outside of the university with the University of West Indies, which is Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, the Pan Atlantic University in Nigeria. 8 weeks ago, I'm in Colombia, creating a relationship with the Los Andes University there. I've created a partnership with the lady in that film, Vivian Goldman, at New York University. I've set up a relationship with the Smithsonian Institute, who for the first time is going to be looking at black music, black British music. And then in the UK, the partnerships involve SOAS, the British Library, National Sound Archive, Leicester University,